I remember the next day, and man's at my boy's house, and all my days, depain. Who am I? Well, my name is Toye Ibukunle. I come from North London. I grew up in Northwest London. Now I'm based near like High Barnet. I'm 27 years old, and I'm a man that's passionate about helping people get their fitness goals, sharing my faith, and then also helping men in that transition between boyhood to manhood. That's me, man, and I hope as you watch this video, you get to see a little bit more about me and my story. Why is fitness important to me? I think fitness is important to me because it's a big part of who I am. Growing up, I was extremely athletic. I was in so many sports: rugby, basketball, golf, athletics. Like, these are things that make a core part of my personality and who I am. A lot of people associate me with some of the sports I played. And so for me, when it comes to fitness was obviously a supplement to the sports I used to play. So I've kind of not always been in the gym, but I've used it as a supplement. There was a period where I'd go a couple of times a week, once a week, but I never sustained it. So this newer kind of like fitness journey, which started in October 21, that is something different. Why am I doing this? Why have I created this channel? I've created this channel because it's been something that's been on my mind for a long time. And I want to share my story. I think that's what it is, right? Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, social media. It's just people sharing their stories from different perspectives on different topics. And that's what I'd love to do now. It all starts in August 2020. August 2020, the 2nd of August, is a day I'll never forget, because it was the day I crashed my car for the first time ever, but also the day I fractured my coccyx. You see, obviously 2020 rings a bell, COVID pandemic. The restrictions had just been lifted. So one of my friends hosted a little house party. So basically a party in which you were not illegally gathering, pretty much. And I remember that day, everyone was a bit gassed. It was just like, yeah, amazing. And I remember going up the stairs. And then when I was making my way down, I was on my phone and I didn't see what was on the stairs, and I slipped and I fell straight, bang, straight on my tailbone. And I remember people mushing like, yo, Toy, you okay? What's up? And I'm like, fam, why is everyone like so stressed? Like, it's okay. People fall down the stairs all the time. But it wasn't until the next day. I remember the next day, and man's at my boy's house, and all my days, depain. Fam, I was in my car and I was adjusting like this. I was like, bruh, I can't sit down. Why can't I sit down? Eventually I was doing bare research and I had to buy, you know, those donut ring things, those donut cushions. I had to get one of those and I had to sit on those so that I wasn't putting pressure on my tailbone. So I'm just like, yo, like, this pain isn't normal. After a week went by, I said, this isn't normal. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I said, okay. I start turning into like a mad scientist, trying to figure out what is wrong with me. What is this? I didn't even know what part of my body this was that was in pain. Long story short, after a couple of weeks and a couple of months, I eventually went to NHS. But bearing in mind, it was COVID. And I think there was another wave that hit in like September. So anything that you were trying to book was delayed by months. So I finally got an MRI date, and that was like end of October, beginning of November. I got it, locked it in, went. Tell me why at the MRI, these people took the wrong MRI. They just got my sacrum, which is like the top bit of your pelvis, and my lower back, but they didn't go lower to get my tailbone. So then I had to wait another 3 to 4 weeks. Tell me why these men then tell me, like at end of November, beginning of December, that I'd fractured my coccyx. However, it stayed in the same place. I'm looking at these guys like, it may have stayed in the same place, but some of the symptoms I'm experiencing doesn't make sense. Like, we're talking going to the toilet was difficult, or when I did want to go toilet, it would be like immediate, or sexual function messed up, like things that would then mess with your head, like, yo, like, am I working properly? My body's not working the way it used to, the way it's supposed to. So these things were plaguing my mind. I started spending so much money on private healthcare, such as like urologists, physiotherapists, to try and get a solution to the issue I had. And I remember a story. I went to see a private urologist. I wanted to do like a bladder test just to see how much urine my bladder was holding. So I did the test and I come back and I sit down. And he's like, Toye, do you know how much urine your bladder's holding? And I'm thinking, no, I don't even know what the average person's bladder holds. Man said, you're holding twice the amount of urine. So I was holding a liter of urine in my bladder before I needed to go to the toilet. Whereas most people, they would be holding 400 to 600 mil. So immediately he was just like, you obviously have an issue here with the nerves that are sending signals to your brain that you need to go to the toilet. And this would have been damaged from when I fractured my coccyx. And I was like, raw, this is mad. I was like, I knew there was something off with me. And so then I went to a physiotherapist. She started explaining to me the physiology and the muscle structure of the pelvis and how it affects you going to the toilet, just sexual function, all these different things. I'm like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. And throughout this journey, not only did fitness become a really big thing for me, but my faith is what grounded me. Now, my faith in Christ really helped me really look to him, because right now I'm in a peak place. It's not fun. This is when I decided, you know what, October 21, I'd lost so much weight. I think the lowest I'd reached was 80 kg. There might be a picture that shows what I used to be at and then where I'm at now. And I was about 80 kg, which was the lightest I've ever been since like year 10. You know, as guys, you're like, I want to put on some upper body strength, I want to put on some upper body size. But then also me, because I did so much athletics and stuff that required leg power and leg strength, I'm not that kind of guy that wanted to look like Johnny Barber. Man it had to look proportional, do you get me? So apparently, this is Noah's body goals. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, push from there. Can you push from there? Yeah, that's much better. Try that again. 2, perfect, and again. This is easy. Bro, your form is much better than the first time. 4, come on, that's it, man. No. 5, come on. 6, no, bro, you made me laugh, bro. All right, 7, let's go. 9, that's good. Reach 10, that's it. 11, come on, let's go. 12, and again. So I started proper strength training, innit? And so I started falling in love with the gym. And the results I was seeing, not just physically, but also mentally. This then started October 21, hitting the gym 3-4 times a week, consistently. Like, I became regimented with it. So much so that I realized, oh snap, I forgot all about all the sports. I'm just gonna focus on gym here. But it's crazy because the way in which my core and my pelvic floor had affected the way in which I had to lift weights made me realize, oh snap, I really need to fix and strengthen certain muscles as a result of the fall I had. I started this gym journey, and the reason why I want to start this channel is because I want to share my story, and I also want to help other people who may be trying to get fitter, whether it be lose weight, whether it's put on muscle, whether it's put on size. So yeah, man, that's a bit about me. So why didn't I start this earlier? Do you know what it is? If I were to give you a phrase, it would be paralysis by analysis. I think when you see so many different fitness channels, Instagram pages, and you're like, wow, I can't reach or attain that level of proficiency. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop I'm not gonna start until I really have a plan sorted. But then I realized, speaking to other people, like most people just started. And so this is kind of what I'm doing now. I'm just starting. And so hopefully it covers the different topics in which I wanna cover in the faith space, fitness space, and then when it comes to manhood, it's just sharing my story of the journey from being a boy to being a man. It's been a delay because, like everything in this life, you want it to be good. You don't just want to put out content for the sake of putting out content, because really and truly there's enough content out there. It has to be content that adds value. So I was like, where is the value I'm adding? Which is one of the reasons why I delayed. And hopefully you guys find this helpful. Hopefully you guys are inspired by my story, because it's been like a road. It's been a very tough road, but I thank God that I'm here where I'm at. And so for me, the purpose of this channel is that I'm trying to talk about my faith in Christ, and I'll share that faith. There will be certain topics that I want to cover, so stay tuned for that. And then other things I want to cover in the fitness space is some of the exercises which I found really useful in my recovery, but also in strength training, and things that I think help with just everyday life, makes everyday life easier. The third one is manhood, and I'd love to share my story on that it's a rough transition from when you're a boy to becoming a man, and how all 3 of those are grounded in my faith in Christ, which has allowed me to achieve certain goals, which I'd love to share, and hopefully equip people with the tools that I've learned, but also I'm continuing to learn. So yeah, that's the plan for this channel, and I hope you guys enjoy it.